Hello! Today in our lesson we are going to learn how to compare decimals. Comparing decimals is very easy because we will compare whole parts and fractional parts separately. Let's start with the following example. I need to compare 0.8 and 1.2 tenths. First we're going to compare the whole part. That is, this number I have contains 0 integers and this number contains 1 integer. But we realize that 1 integer is certainly greater than 0 integers, so I put the sign bigger. If the whole parts of the decimals are equal, then I'll compare the fractional parts of those numbers. So, I'm going to take 1.25 hundredths and compare it to 1.17 hundredths. What am I supposed to do? I compare the whole parts. One whole and one whole. We have the whole parts equal. Then we move on to the fractional parts, the parts of decimals. This is 25 hundredths and this is 17 hundredths. We know how to compare fractions. So I'm going to write down 25 hundredths and 17 hundredths. And let's still write the whole part. One whole part and one whole part. So the whole parts are equal. We're comparing the fractional parts. 25 hundredths and 17 hundredths. Of course, 25 hundredths is greater than 17 hundredths. So I put a greater sign. To compare decimals, we just need to compare the whole parts and then the fractional parts. Let's look at another example. Let's say we have 23 whole parts, 536 thousandths, and 23 whole and 52 hundredths. Let's try to compare. So let's compare whole parts. 23 whole parts and 23 whole parts. The whole parts are equal. Let's compare the fractional parts. 536 and 52. Of course, you might say that 536 is greater than 52, and this is indeed true, so we can safely put the sign more. Now let's look at one more example. 17.52 hundredths and 17.516 thousandths. Now let's compare these decimals. Their whole parts are equal. 17 integers. Let's write it down as an ordinary fraction. 17.52 hundredths. Let's check. 2 decimal places after the comma. 2 zeros in the denominator. That's right. And in this case, 17 whole 516 thousandths. After the decimal point, we have 3 signs. In the denominator, we have 3 zeros. So we've got it. 17 whole 52 hundredths and 17 whole 516 thousandths. 17 whole parts equals 17. But the fractional part has a different denominator. So first I have to get to the common denominator. The common denominator of 100 and 1000 equals 1000. So I bring the first fraction to the denominator of 1000. That is, I multiply it by 10. 1000 divided by 100 is 10. The result is 17 integers, 520 thousandths, and in this case, 17.516 thousandths. Well, now I can easily compare these mixed numbers because I have denominators equal to 520 more than 516. That's why I put the sign greater. So guys, today we have considered an example in which we compare decimal fractions using ordinary fractional numbers. And in the next lesson I will show you how to compare ordinary fractional numbers using decimals. That's all for today. Goodbye. See you again.